YouTube Live, and today I am going to show you how I made a fun little card with a new stamp set bundle that'll be available to order starting on the 4th of November. This is one of the new online exclusive items, and the bundle is called Cake Day, and it's a cute little bundle, like I said, in my opinion, one that you can make some really quick and easy little, oh my goodness, I'm trying to get my screen set up here so that you can see mostly the card and not so much the top of the papers. So hopefully that's a little better, and trying to get it in here a little straighter. There we go. All right. Hey, Carol and Marva, thanks for joining today. So we are going to make a card with the, and Carol, thanks for joining too. So, and Karen, glad you all are here. And yes, Karen, it's another fun fold card. You're going to be shocked to see that. It's a super simple, both of them. I mean, the one today on my blog was super simple. This one as well, just a quick and easy little fun fold card, made with the new Cake Day stamp set bundle. This is one of those, as I was yakking and then interrupted myself. This will be available to order starting on the 4th of November for everyone. Right now it's available in a demonstrator pre-order. So if you're a demonstrator, you can grab this bundle and get your 20% discount on it too. And it's a cute one. So, hey, Patricia and Judy and Diane and Tanya and Pam, thanks everybody for joining. So this is the card, and technically this little piece of cake, you can actually make just be the card. And I originally had thought about doing that, but then I decided I was going to stick it onto a kind of card base. So this is the inside of it. It's not really a card base. It's just a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card front sized piece of cardstock that I layered some designer paper on. But yeah, that's all there is to it. It's super quick and easy. And I know, can you even believe it, Karen? I'm kind of shocked at myself. And I tried to pick, because it was a birthday card, my favorite cake is chocolate. You know, if you know me, chocolate, and the darker the better on the chocolate. But because it was a birthday card, I wanted to be kind of fun colors. I thought lemon cake would also be kind of tasty with some pink frosting. So there you go. And what I do love about this is that you can kind of make it be any colors that you want it to be. So there's a sample card that Stampin' put together, and they use crumb cake in here, and then early espresso, I think, are the colors on it, or maybe pecan pie. But it's like yummy chocolate cake. And I thought about doing that, but then I stopped myself and I'm like, no, let's do something a little lighter, a little more fun. So that is why I picked the colors I did. I just randomly kind of picked them out, brighter colors, and something that's a little fun. So hey, Danette, thanks for joining. And all right, so the stamp set is called, again, Cake Day, and it's a photopolymer one, so it's quick and easy to see through. So this one, you can actually stamp the frosting if you want to do that. I did not. I just used the die that fits around this to cut the frosting. And then this you can stamp. I did use it on the inside of the card. I don't know if you can see it very well in there, but I did use it to put some little sprinkles on the inside of the card. You could stamp these on the frosting if you wanted to do that. This one's another one that you can add some little sprinklies or sparkly pieces or whatever you want to call it. This one you can use to stamp the candle. Again, I did not do that. There is a die that will cut that. I just used these two dies like this to create my little, I don't know, I call it like a sparkle or spark or whatever, because it's not really like a typical candle flame. It's a little sparklier than that. And then these are pieces that you can use to stamp the layers of your cake if you want to do that. So, and again, I'll show you how I did that as we're going along here. And then this is like a tall and skinny candle, and there are some dies to cut out those tall and skinny candles. And then this is that little, I'm sure there's a name for this kind of frosting, but it's like that little scallopy stuff that you do with the piping bag. And again, I'm not like a cake frosting expert. I've used them a few times, but I don't remember all the names of everything. But that little decorative edging that you can make with frosting. So they've got a couple of those that I used on the card as well. All right, so that is the stamp set. And so again, just some fun sentiments in it. There's a celebrate. So if you wanted to do it as congratulations instead of a birthday, there's a yay, and then make a wish, happy cake day, happy birthday, all that kind of thing. So, hey, Daryl, thanks for hopping in. Die set. This is actually the big die that creates the cake slice. base. Like I said, you can actually have this be your entire card base if you wanted it to be. And then this one will cut out your little stamped scallopy frosting thing. This one cuts out sentiments. The little banner will cut out a sentiment as well. Again, I said the candles already, the stamped candles. This is a set of candles that I used on my card. This one you can just die cut and it creates cute little kind of spirally looking candles. This one cuts out the frosting piece, and again, it fits around this. If you wanted to stamp your kind of edge on the frosting and cut it out, you can do that. And there are two of these, which is nice because you can run them both through your die cutting machine at the same time. This is kind of like a little whipped cream frosting kind of look. Just an accessory die, and I did use those on my card. These create these cute little cookies down here, and again, I'll show you how these go together. This thing reminds me of, I don't know, kind of from Pac-Man, that little ghost that was in there. I know they're not quite the right shape, but that's kind of what it looks like. But that slides right inside here. So this is the frosting for the cookies, like the in-between, and then this makes the cookies. So I'll show you how they did this because I used a couple of those on my card front. What else? And then these two I used to create the little flame on the candle. And then this actually is really cool because if you wanted to cut it and make it look like there was frosting dripping down the side of the cake, you know how some of those really fancy ones have like that frosting that's, I don't know, the kind of the shiny frosting, and it kind of drips down a little bit on the edge. So you can use it to cut this, you know, you'd obviously cut the little wedge first and then use this piece to cut kind of a little drippy edge in your frosting. And then there's some little star dies. So I think that's everything in the die set. It's a huge set of dies and a great stamp set, so lots of fun with that one. Again, called Cake Day, and it'll be available to order on the 4th of November. So, and is it macarons that are the cookie and macaroon is something else? I don't know. I know there's two different ways to say it, and one is one thing and one is another, and I'm not sure which kind of cookie, whether it's the runes or the rons that we have here. So, all right, enough about that. If anybody knows, you can let me know, and hopefully I'll remember the next time I go to make one of these, which version it is. So, all right, starter kit specials. If you are not currently a demonstrator, now is an excellent time to join. This is one of the best starter kit specials I have ever seen from Stampin' Up. There are two options right now. You can either join for $35, and you get to pick $125 worth of Stampin' Up merchandise, and you get a box of catalogs, and you're going to get a paper pumpkin kit. Kit will ship for free, even at the $35. Okay, so it's the runes. Is it the runes? So don't, see, now Sharon is laughing. I know. As that came out of my mouth, I had the same thought, and I should have stopped myself, but you know, sometimes my mouth and my brain do not connect very well. So anyway, so I'm getting myself ready to go to a team event next week. So, okay, so macaroons have the coconut. They don't look pretty. Okay, so it's macarons that we're doing. Okay, so it's not the runes. So, all right. So starter kit special, I got myself all distracted. If you're interested in grabbing some of these upcoming products from the online exclusive starting on November 4th, you can actually add these items as part of your starter kit if you want to. So that's a nice little bonus. And again, first kit is $35, ships for free. You get to pick $125 worth of Stampin' Up merchandise. And then anything that you order after that, you get at least a 20% discount on. And then there's a second option where you can pay the regular $99. And again, it will ship for free, but you get to pick $189 worth of Stampin' Up merchandise, which is an awesome deal, especially if you want to get something like the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, because that rarely ever goes on sale. And this would be a great opportunity to pick it up if you're looking for one. So Europeans macaroons look perfect. Yeah, mine do not. I like to eat cookies. Baking, not as good at that. So, all right. So if you join before the end of October, you have your option of 2 great starter kits. And definitely if you've been considering it, now is a really good time to hop in and take advantage of that discount. We'd love to have you come join the team. And there's no requirement to sell anything, no requirement to do this as a business. You can just hop in, join, and get that discount for yourself. So, all right, online exclusives. Just want to remind you, anytime that you are out in the online store, make sure you're taking a peek at those. They kind of come and go. They're not tied to any catalog, so they, things may disappear out of there, and there are lots of awesome things that you don't want to miss out on. So anytime you're out shopping, go take a look. You can go to stampinup.com, then click the menu button, and then click the online exclusives button, and you'll see all the options that are available there right now. And starting on November 4th, you will find the new stuff too. And then don't forget that 12 Days of Crafting Advent Calendar is available from Stampin' Up! Through, well, as long as they're available. So I don't know exactly when they're going to run out, but the price is $99. It would make an excellent holiday gift for anybody that, that is crafty. So including yourself. So, we always have people looking for gifts for us, and that'd be a good one. So, all right, let's get going on the card after all my yucking and ruining. Yikes. Okay, so this is a piece of Designer Series paper, and I've already forgotten the name of the pack. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Of course, it's never handy. It's from the Floral Impressions Designer Series paper. And again, that is an online exclusive item. And this is cut to about 4 inches by 5 1/4. So it's kind of that standard layer on the card front. And then I've got Coastal Cabana cardstock that I have cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. So again, this is the size of a card front. It just doesn't have like where you open it. It's just a panel of cardstock. If you wanted to, I did not choose to do this on my card, but if you wanted more space to write, you can certainly put a basic white panel on the back of this piece, and then you'd have a little more space to write something, or you could stamp another sentiment or something on it if you wanted to do that. But I thought the little cake thing card base was kind of cute, so I just left it at that. So, all right, so we've got those adhered together with Stampin' Seal. Then I did quite a bit of the die cutting ahead of time, which you'll be happy to know because it's boring to watch nothing as I go die cut things, but I will show you exactly what I've used to cut everything. So again, this is the die that I used to cut the cake. This is Lemon Lolly cardstock, and again, just ran it through the die cutting machine. There is a score line here on the cake that you'll see when you go to actually cut the cake and put it together. So you'll see there's a little score line down there. And I also cut a piece of the frosting. So this goes on. It took me a minute, I will tell you. When I was looking at this, I'm like, because I was thinking the cake was like this, and I couldn't figure out how the frosting fit on it, and I flipped it around. So just be aware of that. So don't do what I did. Put it on the right way around to begin with. So again, this is cut from Pretty in Pink cardstock. And we're going to do a little stamping first. So I'm going to start with this little stamp, and this actually, it fits on here, and it will stamp kind of around the edges perfectly, and I'll show you in a second how you do it. So, all right, Pretty in Pink is the color that we're going to use for the first ink on here, and we're going to ink it up, and I'm just going to line it up here. I'm trying to line it up kind of halfway between this line and this line, so if that makes sense, and it doesn't need to be perfect, where you're just going to stamp it down near the bottom like that. And then I'm going to grab this second image, which is kind of the frosting image. So the double lines is actually one stamp. And then this one with the kind of squishy lines on it is a second stamp. So this is the second stamp that I'm going to be using. And we're going to also ink that up in Pretty in Pink ink. And we're just going to stamp it here close to the first lined image. And then I'm going to go back to the double line image and try not to stick my sleeves in the inked stamp over here. And stamp that one again. And then we're going to do the same thing with the little multi-lined image. And then we'll come back and stamp another double-lined image here. There we go. And then one more final one here with the kind of multi-lined look, because the frosting is going to cover everything above that. All right, so we'll close up that ink pad and grab the next one here. This is the kind of sprinkly image. Again, when you're looking at it, this is the image that I've got that I'm using as the fill-in image on my cake, and we're going to stamp that in Lemon Lolly ink. So, all right, inking it up here. Oh, it's a cute set, Karen. I just pulled it out and kind of initially copied what I saw for the sample. So that helped me to kind of figure out where I should be stamping things. So, and what I should be using with what. So I'm using this little dotted stamp, and I'm basically just stamping it between the double lined image. And then I'm going to do one more here up on the top, just because a little bit of that shows, but not very much of it. All right, we'll close that one up. And now we're going to glue my little die cut frosting piece over the top of the card front. So I'm going to grab, I'll probably use a little bit of liquid glue here. I may do the whole thing with liquid glue. I just wanted a little touch there in the corner because the end of it I know will peel up if I don't. I think I used Stampin' Seal when I initially put it together, but I wanted to make sure I got way up into the corner there. And I'm going to line up the curve here on the corner and then line up at the score line. And I'm going to try my best not to glue myself to the card. There we go. Oh, see, oh, darn thing. Okay. Good thing the glue hadn't set yet. All right, there we go. So you definitely need to get this set now, Karen. So it's a cute one. All right, got that stuck together. Near miss, but we made it. Okay. I also did some die cutting ahead. Like I said, I got this one I put together already, but I'll show you how I did it. What am I doing here? Okay. I got the little frosting dobby globby things here, the little dots of frosting. And then I die cut some candles. Oh, come on. We only need 2 of those, and I die cut this, and I'll tell you the colors I used on everything too. So, all right. So for the little macaron, I used Pool Party cardstock for the cookie part, and then basic white for the little one that looks like the ghost from the Pac-Man machine. So when you die cut this, it cuts a little slit in here, and that's how you're going to slide your frosting together. And you'll notice that Stampin' Up, that's why this weird little top on the ghost is there, because it gives you something to put your adhesive on when you put your cookies together, so you don't end up gluing, hopefully yourself, to the cookie like I will probably do here in just a second. So I've used a little liquid glue, tried not to put too much on there. Now I'm trying to pick it up without sticking my fingers in the glue. And then I'm just going to open that little slit up in the cookie, slide the 2 pieces together, and just push it up in there until the edges match up over here. And then just give it a little squeeze and make sure that it's stuck down well with the glue, and that's all there is to making the cookies. So they're super easy. The little frosting just slides right inside it. The little candles, let me grab the dies here. So again, these are the cookie dies. This is the frosting die for the cookies. I cut these, 3 of these, so 2 in one direction and 1 in the other. These are the little frosting globs here from Basic White. This is the die cut that I used, or die that I used to cut the Coastal Cabana candles. That's a lot of C's. And then this is Pool Party, and this is the little banner with the toothpick in it that I used to cut that. So all done, quick and easy. We're just going to kind of pile these up here on the top of the cake. So I'm going to get rid of one of these candles before I accidentally glue something down that I don't mean to. And then we're going to grab some glue dots. But I'm going to start, just because I thought these stuck up too tall, because originally I was not planning to put a background on it, but either way, I thought they stuck up a little bit too tall, so I cut, I don't know, about a ½ inch is what I'm going to say. It might be closer to 3/8 of an inch off the bottom of each of the candles, as well as the little toothpick. And the reason that I did that is I wanted the end to be hidden by my frosting little globs here, so that's just how it ended up working out for me when I put it on here. If you like the taller candles and the taller little toothpick thing, you can certainly do that. So I'm using little glue dots, and we're going to put one candle on kind of facing that way, and then we'll put another candle on sort of tilted the other way. And then we've got our banner that I need to stamp on, and I almost forgot to do that. So this is a sentiment from the Cake Day stamp set, and Coastal Cabana ink is what we're going to be using to stamp it. And the nice thing about the photopolymer stamps is you can see right through them and hopefully get it stamped on here straight after you've die cut it. So that is a little faster, especially if you're going to stamp a couple of those. All right, now we're going to grab another little glue dot, and we are just going to take that and stick it to the back of the little toothpick part of the banner. And yes, I do have, that was green ink at one point on my finger. I don't know. It turned blue when I was taking a shower. So I don't know, crazy. So, and then I think we'll take the banner and sort of stick it on like that. Now we need to grab our little whipped cream globs. I mean, I don't know. Whipped cream globs is probably not the best sounding thing in the world. Little dots of whipped cream. And we'll take that and we'll stick one of those over here. And then we're going to do another one. Oh, we better put this one on first. Just grabbing glue dots, which I find works a little better for me when I'm using anything like this that's got like the little slits cut in it. I just want to be careful not to put liquid glue on it because it ends up oozing out between all those little cuts in there, and then you end up with a gluey mess. So I always recommend using glue dots when you're putting these types of things on. All right, so there's our little third glob of whipped cream. And actually, we'll hold off on sticking these on until I get my little scalloped frosting or whatever that stuff is called stamped and die cut. So we've got this is a little scalloped frosting image from the Cake Day stamp set. And we're going to stamp that in Pretty in Pink ink on Pretty in Pink cardstock. And we're going to stamp it twice. Give it a little space between because there are two of the dies in the die set that will cut out your frosting pieces. So we've got one here and then a second one here. So I am going to go run and die cut these quick, but I think this is the only die cutting that we're going to do for the entire card, which is rare for me. So, all right. Let's see if we can get these run through on one swing. Ooh, yikes, sorry, I just bashed my knee on the table. All right, so there we go. We've got our two little pieces of frosting. And I am actually going to use Stampin' Dimensionals to put this piece on up here, and somehow I end up with cookies on top of it. Just because after a couple layers of glue dots and die cuts, it got a little thicker on the top. So I did use some Stampin' Dimensionals to adhere this to the card front so that it'd be raised up a little bit over the die cuts on the bottom part. Come on, there we go. And then we're just going to kind of line this up over here along the edge. Probably needs to scoot it back just a hair. Oop, and I got a dimensional sticking out. Let me put a different one on. Come on. All right. Try this again. We'll put it on the second little scallop here. That will be better. I didn't think about that as I was putting this together. So the second scallop, you don't want to put it on the third because you will glue this to your card base, and you don't want that to happen because then it will be difficult to open the card. All right. There we go. Make sure. Yep, that looks better. All right. The other little piece of frosting, where did I put my glue dots? There they are. Starting to have stuff everywhere. We're just going to grab a couple little glue dots to stick this one on. And again, we're just going to take it down here near the bottom of the cake. Stick it on there. And then we've got our two little cookies that we're also going to stick on with some glue dots down here near the bottom. And they kind of overlap the little frosting piece, so that's why I wanted to put the frosting on first before I put the little cookies on. Because nothing better than cookies and cake for your birthday, in my opinion. The more sweets, the better. All right, there we go. We got our two little cookies on. The last thing we need to do for the card front is to stick on our little sunburst, starburst, flames, whatever you want to call them. I did put one together ahead of time. I used gold foil sheets, and I cut two of these and two of these. Before I cut this one, I put a little bit of adhesive sheets on the back of the gold foil so that this would be a sticker rather than trying to glue it, because it's pretty little there in the center, and I know that I would end up with glue all over me. So, hey, Michelle, thanks for hopping in. Divinity candy, they might be. I don't know. I was assuming they were cookies, and I could be totally wrong. I just know they're sweets. So one of these I went ahead and stuck together with the adhesive sheets. This one, I've got the adhesive sheet on the backing, so we're just going to pick at the edge of it here and get the adhesive sheets to peel off. There we go. And then we're going to use the adhesive sheets to stick it to the other larger die cut. There we go. So those go together pretty quickly and easily with the adhesive sheets. Then we're going to use some glue dots to put these on. And I'll show you in a second how I covered up the glue dot on the back because, as you know, it'll overlap the candle in the back here. So I just want to be careful not to smash it down on the paper that I've got everything sitting on right now so that I don't accidentally glue it to the paper. So I just want to get these stuck down a little bit. Whoop, and there I did stick one right to the paper and not to the candle top. Try that again. All right, so there we go. We got our 2 candles stuck on, and yes, they're gluey on the back. If you have a circle punch that is little and will fit on the back of there, you can certainly use it. I, of course, did not have one. So I'd used my awesome, not at all good fussy cutting skills and sort of cut a kind of circle, but it's not a very nice one, out of basic white cardstock. But I basically just wanted it small enough that it would cover the back and that it didn't really matter that it wasn't a very nice circle because it's on the back of the candle and I don't know that anybody is really going to notice that it's there, but you and me. But I did want you to see how I covered up the little glue dot so that I didn't accidentally stick the card front to the back of the card. All right, so that's all I did. Again, I'm sure that we had a punch at one point that would have fit perfectly in there. I just don't have it anymore. And there may be little tiny circle dies somewhere that would also work. You could also cut another from Basic White, just another one of the kind of larger spark images and glue it on the back too. Whatever you want to do. Or maybe you could, even cut a third from gold foil sheets and maybe just add a third layer of the little sparkle things in there. So however it works best, you can do it whatever, however it works best for you. So let's see. On the inside of the card, I did keep it pretty quick and simple in there as well. And this is that kind of sprinkly look frosting die. And I've got lemon lolly cards or lemon lolly ink. We're just going to stamp that up here on the inside of the card. And again, I'm just kind of lining up the edges, and I'm sorry the dog decided to come over for a visit, so I'm sure you can hear her little toenails clicking on the floors. All right, I'm going to close that up and then grab Pretty in Pink ink and my sentiment that says "Let's Celebrate." I'm going to ink that up and stamp that, although I should try to make sure this is kind of straight. Stamp that there on the inside of the card. And then I folded it closed and grabbed my little bone folder, gave it a quick crease. And then I did put this on the card front with Stampin' Dimensionals, just because it's got these little frosting edges that are hanging over, and that allowed a little more room for the card to actually open once you stick it on the card front. So I'm going to stick on probably a few extra dimensionals compared to what I normally would, just because it's, I don't know, because this is the whole card front, I guess. So, all right, peel off the backing on all of these, and then we'll stick it to that piece of designer paper, and it's going to be all done. Oop, one more to go. There we go. All right, now we just need to go back to our designer paper piece, and we will just line this up here on the card front and stick it down. And that's all there is to it. So super quick and easy. Again, inside of it is like this. Got 2 of them done. It's mostly just the die cutting, and really there isn't even really that much stamping. You could stamp more than I did on it, obviously. If you wanted to put the sprinkles on the frosting, you can do that. But you can make this pretty quick and easily. It's just a fun little set, lots of little pieces. You can make as many or a few of the little accessories as you want. So definitely a fun one. Again, it's called Cake Day, and it will be available to order starting on the 4th of November for anybody that is not currently a demonstrator. And if you're not a demonstrator, definitely take a look at that joining special during October. It is an awesome, awesome deal. and you'll get 20% off this cool stamp set. So, all right. Thanks everybody for being here. I do want to remind you, I will be live around 2 o'clock Eastern time on Tuesday of next week. And then we've got a couple of team events sort of back to back. So I will be gone then it'll be the 4th of November, which is the first Tuesday in November that I'll be back with another live video. So until then, we'll plan to see you on Tuesday, and then it'll be about a week and a half, and I'll be back on the following Tuesday, which will be November 4th, around 2 o'clock Eastern time. So there you go. All right. Thanks again, and yeah, you definitely need to get this. It's a cute, cute set. So, all right. Thanks everybody for being here. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll plan to see you on Tuesday around 2 o'clock. Oh, and details for this will be on my blog tomorrow, which is stampwithamyk.com. And I will update the link in the description, so it'll go straight to the blog post with all the details, the colors, cardstock cuts, and a PDF tutorial tomorrow. All right, thanks again for joining. We'll see y'all soon.